We're finally gonna finish up continuing. Well, I'm sick and tired of talking about this, so we're gonna finish talking about the trial of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. This is part 3 and the final part of it. Now, the previous 2 podcasts were recorded in advance. What was it, a year ago? So this is literally a year after. And with that, I'm gonna have my co-host Yvonne, my executive producer. Her contract's being negotiated as we speak, so we won't know if she'll be there for long. And of course, with us, our guest co-host Andreina. So without further ado, ladies, let's go ahead and get started.
Hey guys.
Yo.
Hey guys. Good to be back.
Okay. So it's been a year, you guys, and we've done 2 podcasts, which we never posted because I forgot.
Time flies.
Yeah.
Can I just say that I can't believe that it was a year ago?
I know.
Right. It's been a year.
A little bit
crazy.
more. Yeah, that's so crazy because when we recorded this the first 2 parts, we were like, okay, this is what's happening, and now it's fast forward, and then here we are.
Yeah. So much uncertainty. We didn't know what was going to happen. And now it feels like we were so consumed in it. Then as soon as the trial ended, I felt like I just moved on to the next thing.
Right.
I don't remember what it was, but I know I just moved on.
But I learned a lot
Yeah.
from Court TV.
You know what? I also learned that we had Court TV too.
That's the first.
I was like, what other trials can we watch?
I know, right? Taking notes. I think Chapo. No, I think his trial was already done. Like
Oh.
he already did his trial. I don't know if
I
they're
don't
doing the
know.
sentencing, but something like that. Well, anyways, without further ado, you guys. So it's been a year. It's been longer. Actually, it's been over a decade now for sure.
Oh,
Since
for
the
them.
whole
Trial
for
started,
them,
yeah.
for them since the
Oh,
whole trial
wow.
started and everything. I guess right now let's go ahead and start off with the original, or not the original, but let's start off with what really happened, which was Amber Heard lost the trial.
Amber Heard lost. Which... bombastic side eye.
I wasn't
Criminal
too surprised
offense.
about it. I wasn't really too surprised about it, especially because all of the facts and details. Can I just say that I am so sick and tired of this case?
Oh,
This is
really?
the last time that I will speak on it.
I could go on and on.
A round of applause for Yvonne.
I have seen so many documentaries, especially the latest one, the new on Netflix. I saw the one on HBO Max.
Oh, wow.
There's been so many.
The UK and the US.
Yes.
On HBO Max. And then I think Hulu has a 2020 special. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I'm so sick
Yeah.
and tired of this.
Yeah, I think
When is it going to end?
streaming services need to focus on creating original, fun content.
They can, you
versus
guys.
making documentaries about the same
You
old
can.
things.
How are you gonna create original whatever content when you ain't got no writers?
Oh, that's another podcast. But I could totally talk about this case over. I mean, I haven't watched any of the documentaries, so I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say about those recaps as well.
Honestly, you're not missing much. Each
It's-
documentary has been like very biased towards one or the other.
Oh, really?
Well, actually, no. It hasn't because, well, yeah, it has. They haven't because
That's true.
each documentary has both sides. And then the good thing about the Netflix one that's different is that it has the point of view of the viewers at the time of the trial.
Yeah, like the social media interactions with people. Yeah.
So can I just say that? So on the Netflix docu-series, the second episode, like all of the famous influencers' reactions and all of that, they were like really harsh on Amber.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like calling her names, calling her...
I mean, to be fair though, Amber Turd's still kind of funny.
yeah. No, but they were like...
No, some of them took
Some
it
of
to
the
the extreme.
comments,
Oh, really?
yeah,
I
like,
did
took
not-
it to the extremes, up to the
Oh.
point where their viewers were attacking her and sending her death threats.
Yeah, they kind of took away. So when you start sending death threats and stuff, your people taking it too far.
Yeah, people always take it too far.
Yeah, like
I guess I'm kind
oh.
of glad I watched pretty much the trial every day when it was going on, except for more so the beginning of it. But once it kind of got to the testimonies from all the different witnesses that they were bringing up, you know, so I kind of feel like I don't need the documentary.
Yeah,
but it's a good recap, I guess.
Yeah, it's a really good recap, and it's very repetitive. So if you have time to wait, like extra time to waste, like just to put it in there.
Yeah. And how I recommend, usually what I recommend people do to watch these kind of documentaries is usually watch it in the background. So if you're working on something and you don't really have the attention span to like watch it, but you want to listen to it, or you could be listening to our podcast as well.
So yeah, I'd rather listen to your podcast than some random documentary.
The one thing that I will add to that is that you should probably watch the UK, because on the UK trial they bring a lot of things that they did not bring up in the US trial.
Right.
So that's something.
Do you guys remember what the UK trial was about? Because wasn't it pretty much the same thing, but in the UK, and then there was one for the US, or were they different things? Because I know the US one was focused on defamation. So
the UK trial basically was, I think, the assault charges.
Oh, I see.
Yes, because and I think was Johnny Depp suing both the newspaper?
It was a libel trial, a libel trial. Yeah, and it was against.
He lost in that one.
Yeah, Depp lost a UK libel case against the Sun. It was against the Sun. After his ex-wife Amber Heard gave evidence to back claims in the newspaper that he was a wife beater. So that's what it was.
And that's what bothers me about this case is that
this is according to The Guardian, you guys.
Yeah. So what bothered me about this case is that some of the facts that they used were not really the way they did it, where they were supposedly proven was not really legit.
Oh, I see.
So for example, one of the facts that they wanted to use in the U.S. trial was the text messages about that event where Johnny Depp allegedly kicked Amber Heard in the head during the airplane flight, and the director was there, the assistant was there, and then the text messages claimed that Amber Heard texted the assistant, and the assistant said something along the lines that, yeah, I can't believe he did that to you. I saw the whole thing, and he was just out of it on drugs. But the issue with that is that when Johnny Depp's lawyers tried to get the text messages on the assistant's personal phone, I mean, not personal phone, but like work phone, they were not able to find those text messages. So how can Amber Heard's team prove that they have the text messages, and Johnny Depp's, like, from the employer side, how are you gonna get access to text messages that your assistant should have but he doesn't?
So basically it came down to text messages where, I think, like Yvonne had said right now, about basically saying, oh my God, I can't believe he basically hit you or whatever, thus saying that there was another witness saying that they did. But I think, wasn't he interviewed in the U.S. trial, and basically he said, no, those were all fabricated.
That's
wow.
So in a way it kind of worked better to in the benefit of Johnny Depp, because he, like, somebody can fake a number and fabricate the text.
Not only that, it discredits her even more than they already had from previous stuff that she had mentioned or said.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically that was a UK trial. But
you know what, like Yvonne said, I think just a little bit ago, where you learned a lot about court cases.
Yeah, like legal key terms. Hearsay, objection, deposition.
Yes, we really learned
objection,
that. Objection and hearsay and
leading the witness.
What was but the best one that I learned is the quarter pint, or like a pint of wine. What was it? Like the famous quote?
A quarter pint?
It was like a meme that the lawyer said to Johnny Depp. Hey, you would know that, Mr. Depp.
Oh.
The pint, or like the...
Oh, a mega pint.
Mega pint.
Mega pint. That's crazy.
Didn't he correct her? You mean a mega pint?
Yes.
I think what's crazy
is...
Did
someone say mega pint?
Mega pint? His eyes are ready. Yeah, I think what was crazy about that is in this trial, they were also using as sort of evidence or proof or whatever the past trials that had gone on. So a lot of times they would ask the witness, whatever witness it was, a certain question, and then if that witness didn't answer it exactly the same way that they had answered it in the previous trial or or a previous statement made when an original fight happened or something, they would say, well, that's not what you said this first time. But I feel like you said, this has been going on for 10 years. That's a lot to recall.
That's a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
For one case.
It's a lot. I think everybody was tired.
So basically, to reiterate, she lost the U.S. case. This was a year ago. So they settled in December. Actually, the case was finalized in December.
Oh.
Excuse me. The case was settled in December because after the case, it was ruled that she had to pay him the money back, like 10 million, right?
Yep.
It was 10 million, and then obviously court and legal fees, and then she won 2 million.
Yeah.
And then they settled. So basically, they went back and forth because she was trying to like not pay it, and so instead of her fighting, they settled out of court for her to just pay him 1 million in December. And she actually went on record talking about the settlement, which happened this past December 2022.
I'm surprised, actually, that... Because when we were doing our last podcast, everybody went around and we kind of laid out our predictions of what we thought. And because we know that defamation was said to have been so hard to prove...
It really is hard to prove.
It's really hard to prove, yeah.
It's really hard.
That's kind of amazing that, you know, this was proven otherwise in this case, where they pretty much...
And you know why it seemed easy? It's because they used a lot of her evidence against her.
Yeah.
She kind of just...
including his ex-girlfriend, Kate Moss.
Yes.
She brought up Kate Moss on her own.
And then that's when
And
we
then
were like...
I went back. It's so funny that you bring this up because I went back, I think 2 weeks ago, and I saw that little, like I saw clips, and then I saw where the lawyer is like, yes, she brought
Me
her.
too, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, that's very memorable because I'm like, I'm questioning whether she was prepared too much or not enough.
That's a tricky one. Like I said, she could have always argued for incompetent lawyers.
Right.
She could have reopened the case, but
And
I mean, at that point...
I do think that whenever she would go up and try to give her testimony, or they were questioning her, or whatever the case may be, she tried to initially keep very vague answers. But once it got to more cross-examination, I think it became harder for her to not budge.
Yeah.
Because as many times as she would look at the jury for some sort of sympathy,
No one was interested. Yeah. I think she over-rehearsed with her lawyers.
she probably did.
Yeah.
And I think she was... Another thing that I noticed is that, well, the lawyers... No, not the lawyers, but like some commentary that I've heard, like from the legal point, is that she was actually looking at the jury where Johnny Depp was looking just straight to the lawyer.
Yeah.
Without addressing the jury.
Yeah, she was addressing the jury.
And
more
I
than she
was like, that makes so much sense. Why I was like, I had this feeling that, she's acting.
I think she was trying to mimic. They brought in a psychologist who was very smart.
the lady with the hot glasses.
With the hot glasses,
With the muffin, the muffins.
Yeah, the muffin man. Yes, when they brought her in, she seemed very professional, on point, and she did make eye contact with the jury. And you know, I do think there were a few times where Johnny may have looked over to them, but not unnecessarily. Like, if
not to the point where, like Amber Heard,
Exactly.
she was over exaggerating,
over trying to get sympathy.
I mean, I'm not saying if she lied, she lied. If she's honest, then yeah. But it's like, she kept looking at the jury. She kept doing all of this. I think if she would have just been like looking at her her lawyer and addressing her,
Right.
it would have gone a little bit different.
And
but
Or even drop a tear, Amber.
And crocodile tears.
There
Well,
was none.
well, even when she dropped the tears,
They were insincere.
They were very
They weren't
insincere.
real.
I
Yeah.
I couldn't believe her.
Here's the thing: who was the better actor in the
Yes.
trial? And we clearly saw that Johnny
Yeah,
was the
Johnny.
better vet.
Yeah.
At it.
Yeah, he's a veteran actor.
So with that said, let's go ahead and read. This is from People Magazine. Basically, this is what they said. Each said in their statements when they settled their $1 million. So it's done. They're done. They're basically
done.
so finally.
Never to be
Finally.
seen nor heard.
According to this statement, it says basically she said she was exposed to a type of humiliation. This is Amber Heard. She was exposed to a type of humiliation that I simply cannot relive during the live television trial, and she said simply cannot go through that for a third time. So that's why she's giving the explanation as to why she settled with the $1 million settlement. She said, "I cannot afford to risk an impossible bill because it would be more expensive. One that is," that's not what she said, that's what I said. "One that is not just financial, but also psychological, physical, and emotional. Women shouldn't have to face abuse or bankruptcy for speaking her truth, but unfortunately, it is not uncommon. I will not be threatened, disheartened, or dissuaded by what happened from speaking the truth. No one can and no one will take that from me. My voice forever remains the most valuable asset I have," Heard said. And then according to Johnny Depp's lawyers, this is what they said. Him and Benjamin Chu and Camille Baskets issued a statement on behalf of Johnny Depp saying, "The jury's unanimous decision and the resulting judgment in Mr. Depp's favor against Ms. Heard remain fully in place. The payment of $1 million, which Mr. Depp is pledging and will actually donate to charities, reinforces Ms. Heard's acknowledgement of the conclusion of the legal system's rigorous pursuit for justice."
Ooh-wee.
So
Wow.
with that, it seems like they have finally settled
Finally.
and ended this case closed
Case
officially.
closed.
I know.
And then I just feel bad for her because she. No, you know what? I don't feel bad for her, but I feel bad for victims that are actually victims. It's an unfortunate event that occurred to them. Hopefully they'll get better. Like, I feel like with this trial, I don't think the public perception with both of them helped, because I think it only made it worse. And I don't know where they're gonna go from here.
Yeah. Well, for Johnny, I think they did ask him to return to Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, Disney basically, I think, issued an apology. Let me double check that. But
and he said not for $1 million llamas, and now I guess they gave him $1,000,001 because he's now considering it. I'm like, dude, I thought
Wait,
you
he's
said
considering it?
I thought I heard a rumor that he was considering returning for the franchise.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Maybe for the love of it.
oh yeah, there
for
it
the
goes.
love of,
Johnny Depp open to working with Disney again. Could this mean Pirates of the Caribbean 6? See, this is why nobody can trust actors or actresses.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
Like,
stand your
they're
ground.
not
They weren't
innocent.
with you.
So what I learned from this trial is de lo que se madrearon, se madrearon.
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah.
That's what I learned.
Yeah.
The second thing is public opinion is a must. You have to have your public with you, not against you. Otherwise, it's gonna become hostile.
Yeah.
And that's what Yvonne said.
And
She
then the
dropped that
third
bomb.
thing that I learned is in order to win, you must be rich.
It's you who heals the biggest coin.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so basically that's where that ended. I mean, I'm not gonna drag this podcast out just because it's already been dragged out as much. I guess the next thing to move on regarding this podcast is the aftermath, and we kind of talked about it a little bit. Where do you see them going in their careers, or everybody involved in general? Like,
Well, last I heard, Amber Heard moved to Spain. So I'm not sure that she's looking for a career at the moment.
ella habla español ahora.
Ella habla español. She might
Hablo
want to move
español.
into Spanish telenovelas and
Da, da, da.
And it seems like they like her there, so
well, I think they're being friendly because she's new, but hopefully she doesn't burn a bridge. I don't know. I guess we'll see, but
I have no love for Spain.
Yeah, me either.
oh, really?
That's not on my bucket list, you guys.
Not only did they
Conquistadores.
Los Conquistadores.
but Shakira.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say. They
Yeah.
did wrong, Shakira.
Oh no, she did not.
Is this about the taxes?
The what?
The-
Yeah, not only that,
I see, I
but
see.
the guy cheating on
Is
her.
Piqué from Spain?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I guess I didn't know where he was
Spain,
from.
right?
Well, rumor has it with them is que they thought they were all uppity and better than.
Yeah,
Latin
that's
American.
usually the
Yeah.
Spain
Yeah.
mentality.
And I
Hopefully
can't
someone can-
I can't fucks with you if you're like that.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. Yeah, it's hard.
Plus, they got nothing
get
but old people in Spain. Like they're trying to get young people to move over there.
Ain't nobody gonna move over.
Because they need people to help out taking care of the older people.
So is this a bad time to say that I'm probably gonna go there in 2 years
Bye,
to
Adriana.
visit?
Bye.
Just to visit,
Bye.
just a tour.
Bye.
Andrea just dropped one.
You're my dumb soul.
Oh no, she didn't.
No, but
yes.
I do see her in the
She could probably
Spanish.
thrive in Spanish.
She probably could.
Spanish,
She's got the Spaniard look.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
White. So I guess we'll see.
Maybe she'll go back to modeling.
Yeah, maybe
She was a
she'll-
model?
Yeah, she started as a model, but then I think she could only get so many clients. That's why she was jealous, because they told her that she was an inch too short.
Really?
Well, how
Yeah.
tall is she? Nah.
Yeah, or-
Let me see. Hold
I
on.
didn't realize she was
I
considered
think-
short to them.
I think in one of the docu-series.
She's 5'7". How
Yeah.
tall do you need to be a model?
Oh, I think
I
like
think
5'11".
taller.
Isn't
Yeah.
that average though? Like 5'7"?
You know,
5'7"
the
is
fashion
tall to
industry
me,
is
but yeah, I
stupid.
think
Oh, you know,
Fashion.
5'7" is like giant to
Yeah.
me. Oh, it's a
Yeah.
whole new world.
So yeah, we could probably see her spreading her
Going back
wings
to
in
model.
Spanish. How interesting!
Or
though.
being
I didn't realize
what
she
I
spoke Spanish
what I thought is, hey, maybe she's gonna be like a momager.
for her kid.
Yeah, for her kid.
Oh.
I
Was
wouldn't
that
put it
okay?
past
So
it.
the baby was a surrogate, right?
The baby is a surrogate baby.
Okay. I was gonna say because I didn't see no pregnancy pictures.
No, she was never pregnant.
Well, that's the rumor has it that she doesn't have a daughter.
I did hear this rumor that the baby was never real,
Mm-hmm.
or something. I didn't hear much about it, but that's what I heard. And then for Johnny Depp, I actually haven't heard anything about him other than there's been drunken episodes in other places.
Yeah, I
and
don't think he's doing good.
Yeah,
either.
I'm
Like,
like-
he's just going on binges.
That's what he should have learned from this case is I should stop doing drugs.
No, from this
Like,
case,
my
it's
God.
like they're just propelling for his downfall.
Yeah, and then it was like the rise all of a sudden of his daughter, Lily Rose Depp, I believe.
Didn't she do a TV show with The Weeknd and it was
Yeah.
just terrible?
It was
they canceled
considered
it.
very
Rated
inappropriate
R,
and just weird. Yeah, it's been canceled, and now people are not gonna listen to The Weeknd's music either. But
What did he do?
he was just a very odd character, like very creepy, kind of perverted-y.
Oh, okay.
So it just didn't.
And
come
not
across
only
well.
that, but like in real life, he was kind of channeling that character, that persona.
Oh,
in
we
his
got
real
those
life.
method
That's why-
actors.
Yeah,
Method
that's
actors.
why we got the meme of look at his face. At first I didn't understand it because I was like I did not see the show, but then I read the comments like, oh, he's channeling his character from the TV
idol?
show. Yeah,
I see.
and
so,
it's like it rubbed people the wrong way.
yeah, it really did. It was definitely canceled. But I think that was Johnny Depp's daughter's first big role. So it was a little weird, to be honest, to me, because we just saw him come out of this really long trial, and then all of a sudden his daughter's taking the spotlight for this kind of show. It just kind of seemed like, I don't know.
I guess you can say that show got.
I don't know.
Fatality.
Sorry, guys, I'm playing around with sound
All
effects over
I
here.
know is that they won't be moving away from the spotlight
Yeah.
anytime soon.
Okay, well, I guess to close this out, because we have, if you haven't already, we talked more about it in the other two podcasts. This is kind of just like a year later. I think it's kind of opened up a lot of like different perspectives, and including the fallout of like those perspectives. Like the social media reactions are crucial now, because nowadays anything on social media, like anything you post on social media can easily be chopped and edited, and you can really change the narrative, as we saw, like, for example, with her text messages. Are they real? I don't know. I will never know. We'll probably won't never know. If the guy says they're not, do you think Johnny Depp's people paid him off? Maybe. I don't know. But at this point, I would believe to disbelieve everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is, for me, an important reminder of the court trial system and how evidence is important in a case, because so many things are thrown out in social media that it's like when it was actually, they had to force fact check Amber on the stand and cross-examine her and like drill her about the things that she accused him of, and then for it to kind of come up empty-handed was like, okay, see what you just accused him of?
Yeah.
That's kind of a big...
I mean, and like Minnie One had previously stated, there definitely was domestic violence on both parts in that relationship. I don't care what they say.
For sure, yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's basically what you can prove in libel, or what is it? Libel. Sorry. Libel is really hard to prove unless you have like concrete evidence. And you really don't. Well, actually, no. Isn't he proving because she was libel? So they proved it, right?
For the U.S. one, yes.
Yeah, for the U.S. one.
They pretty much
And the reason why, it's because they discredit her.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the only reason he won.
Yeah, they discredited
They
her.
were able to disprove that her proof was fake.
Yeah, and they brought
or
out
fabricated.
I don't want to say Disney executives, but didn't they bring out people from the studios to also give testimony? I'm forgetting. Again, this is a year ago.
Yeah, this was a year ago.
I thought they brought out people from the studios to kind of talk about why.
They brought a lot of people. But they were very entertaining and memorable characters.
Shady characters, man. Hollywood's shady.
My favorite. Should we talk about who our favorite character? Witness character was?
Okay, yes.
Because mine, I think, would have to be I think he was the doorman who was vaping
in the car. That was like, we're all tired of this.
Yeah, exactly. And for that exact reason, he's my favorite, because he was like, yeah, this is what I saw, and I'm over this.
And
like,
I keep getting
he's
calls.
Driving, he's vaping, he's reparking.
He's so upset. Like, he's like, I'm so done with this.
I'm
so
over
done
this.
It's been 10 years. 10 years.
At this point, just throw them both. I'm just kidding. But yeah, what about you guys?
And then the shady accountant.
Oh my god!
I have three. I think I have three. I think the shady accountant, the wife del muffin guy,
the psychologist.
Yeah,
the muffin.
The one who said that Amber Heard was suffering from multiple personalities, and then Amber Heard made a face like she was so upset that she just said that about her.
And that she also suffers from attention.
Oh yeah.
And then when the attention is not on
I remember
her,
that.
She would act out. So it's the psychologist, the shady accountant, the guy driving, and I want to say Johnny Depp's one of his friends.
Oh, that's right.
The one where he's like, I just wanted to.
The guy that was crying.
I just want everyone to hug and make
It reminded me, like, why can't we all get along from Mean Girls?
She doesn't even go here.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, if I can say another one, it would be Amber Heard's assistant, because to me she gave such a clear like image or look into
how she was
and how Amber treated people versus, and how she treated her own kid versus how even Johnny treated her. And this is somebody who worked directly for her. So because I think a lot of the things that the attorneys were saying against anyone who was a witness who was on Johnny's payroll was, well, don't you get paid by him? But then now this is somebody who was getting paid by Amber Heard, and she still wasn't on her side. So it was kind of a very clear view to me. I was like, oh wow, that's how you treated her.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was a tough case. It was a really tough case.
Yeah,
but I think it was very entertaining to watch all of these influencers.
We never got James Franco. We never got. I remember for a while there was that
That's
hope.
Oh my
yeah.
god!
And we were gonna
I
get James
really
Franco,
wanted to
Elon
see,
Musk.
on
on the
trial,
stand.
but they said no, they
They
weren't.
declined.
Yeah, they could they do that? Yeah, they could because they weren't really involved in the case
I guess.
unless they were gonna do like character witness or something. But so, anyways, well, that's the end of this one.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, so that's the end of this one. So I guess everybody's opinion is finally done. This is a case closed, and I believe this is the last time, you guys.
And honestly,
We're
guys,
gonna be talking about
I
the
wouldn't
Johnny Depp
recommend
trial.
watching the shows. If you have already seen
Yeah.
the case,
Yeah.
don't bother watching.
Yeah, they're all
the
boring. They're not
documentary.
really-
Can I say one thing? Do you remember towards the end of the trial? I think this came out somewhere. I think it might have been during Johnny's testimony that he said he doesn't look at Amber because he told her at some point before the trial or at some point after their separation, I will never look at you again. I will never speak to you and I will never look at you again. So that was a huge part watching the trial from beginning to end, that he never once looked her way.
And you know what's funny? Okay, so I'm bringing in my astrology, you guys.
Yeah.
So apparently they were both Taurus Venuses. Now, if you don't know anything about the astrology, you don't have to. To just give you a brief explanation, basically, their stubbornness with each other made a lot of sense right there.
Yeah.
Yep. So anyway, so with that said, everybody, thank you for joining us today on today's podcast. And we hope you enjoy the trial or whatever the
wrap.
podcast. That's a wrap. I mean, there's nothing else to say about this, you guys. It's over. It's gone,
Thanks for
Jimmy.
watching.
It's done. It's done. Okay. But anyways,
Caso cerrado.
Caso cerrado. With that said, go ahead and comment what you think about the trial, any other trials you think we may cover or whatever. And Yvonne, Andrina, any last thoughts before I shut you guys off?
No, I think we're good.
All right, and that's a wrap.